All right. So, welcome everyone. This is our Northern California Women's Federation for World Peace chapter doing the third part of a Leadership of the Heart series. I just want to give a little bit of a recap for those of you who might not have attended the previous two sessions. So we've been exploring what leadership means for each of us, especially if we don't necessarily feel that I'm a leader, but we all influence other people through our interactions and by what we do, how we support each other, inspiring others, and maybe motivating somebody else to, take a step in doing something for a neighbor or for a part of the community. And we explored how being a leader of heart starts with our own understanding our own self-worth, that we are enough, and also our understanding that by connecting to our Creator, then we have more power and understanding. And also in our second session, we explored our spiritual gifts. And there were 9 different ways that we both experience God and our divinity, as well as how we express them in our daily lives. And one of the quotes that I really like from the second section was that Brene Brown, in her book, The Gift of Imperfection, says that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than any of us, and that our connection to that power and to each other is grounded in love and compassion. And so now today, in our third part, we are going to be exploring the emotional maturity that we need as we're leaders of heart, and learning how to change our perspective about things, especially when something challenges us to look deeper. And so I'd like to introduce Ari Combs, who will be giving the first part of our presentation. So Ari, do you want me to share the PowerPoint, or are you going to do that?
Okay, I can share the PowerPoint. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. I might need to make you the co-host. I forgot.
Oh, you can.
I did.
Do it
I did.
If you are, yeah.
No, you can do it. I just made you the co-host. So go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, peace leadership and leading from the heart is a difficult job. It requires we do the internal work to have peace within ourselves. We can't skip that work. Peace starts with me. Last time we talked about the spirituality as peacemaking has also a lot to do with solving our current problems, healing, and creating a new path. We discussed as the first important point the need for spirituality connecting to our Creator, the author of peace and love. We also talked about discovering our inner calling and dedicating our gifts and talents to a higher purpose. This final session of part 1 of the Leadership of the Heart deals with emotional maturity, which is another essential requirement for becoming a leader of the heart. Why do you think emotional maturity is so important? If you have any ideas, please unmute yourself and share your thoughts. Is there anybody have an idea? Why do you think emotional maturity is so important?
This Myrna, I think that it's important because we have to be able to not just be stuck with our own idea or our own perspective about things, but be willing to listen to others.
Yeah.
Ari, you know what? I think I'm gonna ask you to stop sharing because there's some black things on your screen about the slides, and then if I could share them for you, then
Oh, okay.
is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Sorry. Anyone else wants to share something while I'm getting my slides up? Please do.
I would just add that because emotions, I think, arise from the heart, and it's from the heart that we can truly inspire others and bring others together. And also, I think if we want to change the world, then we have to be healthy ourselves. Emotionally healthy is very important.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry. I can't find my PowerPoint. Gabby, do you have it? Can you share it?
Yeah, I can share it.
Okay. Sorry about
Okay.
sorry. It disappeared on me. Okay, so just tell Gabby when to advance it.
Okay, you should have ability to move the screen, Ari.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, no matter how much we may wish to be peaceful, no matter how much we may wish to be peaceful or lead with heart, when we come up against those challenging situations, how often do we fall short? It is not when we are loved and feel happy that we hurt others. We hurt others. We ourselves are also in pain. The crux of being a peace leader is how to address our own negative emotions and experiences and digest them and transform them so we are not multiplying that negativity to others. So we need to take an honest look at ours. What is emotional maturity? One definition, oh, sorry about that. One definition of emotional maturity says it is the ability to assess a leadership or a situation and to act according to what is best for oneself and for the other person in the relationship. Another more definition says it is how well we are able to respond to situations, control your emotions, and behave in an adult manner when dealing with others. So how do we react in relationships, especially challenging ones that push our buttons with people we work with, associates, bosses, also of course our children, spouses, especially those who are close to us? In my case, I had some trouble after I started a baking business. When too many orders came in, I used to feel too much pressure and become hysterical. After learning my limitations, I started accepting fewer orders so I could feel peaceful and enjoy my baking business. I learned to take charge of myself and my business rather than allowing myself to become overburdened and then growing resentful towards my customers who simply enjoyed my baked goods. A very wise man named Aristotle once said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. We all have our limitations, and therefore it is helpful to be humble at all times, to know what they are and to acknowledge them. We often blame someone for something we don't like in them, such as when a person always wants to be the center of attention. However, I may not realize that sometimes what I don't like in the other person is the very thing that is also in me. So I may also be the one who seeks attention and recognition. Yet as a peace leader, we need to go beyond that or stand above that, or else it will be a stumbling block for us. There is a story, maybe some people know, in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The man enters the subway in New York City with his 5 children. As soon as they get on the train, the kids start bothering people by yelling, pulling at someone's newspaper, and behaving in a rowdy way. Until finally, one gentleman said with annoyance, "What's wrong with you? Can't you control your kids?" Upon which the man quietly replied, "Well, sir, their mother just passed today." Big paradigm shift. It was a terrible misjudgment on the gentleman's part. An emotionally mature person might have first asked the question, "Why are your kids behaving like this?" before getting upset and jumping to conclusions. The same is true with us, as most of us tend to judge quickly without knowing the full truth or picture, which is another big limitation. The first step maturing emotionally is to take an honest look at yourself. Let's talk about key or core emotion, which most of us, or most humans are dealing with, and which can be at the core of our emotional immaturity. What could that be? Yes. Next slide. Yes, fear. And fear, why is fear so important to look at? Fear is a very strong and negative emotion that colors people's perceptions of themselves and others, and can sometimes cause people to do irrational, terrible things. There are many kinds of fear. Let us look at some of them. There are top 10 general fears people have. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. Snakes, dogs, needles, etc. We are not referring to those fears in this session, just to be clear. Next slide. There are many fears that are more connected to our emotions. Fear of rejection, failure, uncertainty, change, loneliness, loss of freedom, feeling judged. As leaders of the heart, we need to be mindful of our actions. We don't want them coming from a place of fear. Am I fearful of others misunderstanding or hurting me? Is fear holding me back from doing something when I see a situation that calls for a loving response? As leaders of the heart, we can't be trapped by our fears. It's important for a leader of the heart to not respond based on these negative emotions and to try to take an empathetic look at people or situations. Okay, so now I will turn to over my co-presenter, Gabby, to look more deeper.
Okay, thank you, Ari. So now we're going to go into a little bit of a journaling exercise, as Ari was just talking about fear and how we have like all these different maybe fears that could be holding us back, but it's important that we can take time to kind of be aware, and we can build that emotional maturity by acknowledging, being aware, and learning how to deal with it in a very mature and healthy way. So we'll take the next like 2 or 3 minutes or so. If you have a pen and paper, you can journal on these points. So thinking of a fear that has manifested itself in your life repeatedly, or something that's recent that comes to your mind, and ask yourself, how do you handle this fear and how has this affected you? So I will play some music for the next like 2-3 minutes, and then we'll gather back. Thirty more seconds. Okay. Thank you. So we can gather back, and maybe we can have like 1 or 2 people share what they what came up through journaling.
I can share.
Okay.
This is Marie. So how to handle fear? I believe through communicating. If you leave it for yourself or by yourself, it's very hard to solve any problem. So if you have fear for anything, externally or internally, it's good that a person that you trust to communicate with that person about your fear and try to find step by step a solution. Maybe a solution will not come right away, but by step you can solve the problem of fear of anything you have in your life. Give and take action, that's communication. You are give and take, you are not leaving it inside of you. You need to give and take about it. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's one way to face our fears and try to overcome that. I have one more. Oh, Mary?
Yeah, I'm just taking what I wrote down.
Okay.
I have fear of taking on something that I'm not sure of accomplishing. So I don't say yes right away. I'm a very good supporter, and then naturally, while supporting and while working together, then I find in supporting that I am comfortable, and my special talent or ability comes to the surface. And so then the fear dissipates, and I'm no longer feeling fear, but joy and fulfillment.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, so we have to learn how to kind of channel that into something more positive. Yeah. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. So yeah, fear can impact us in many, many different ways. I was just reflecting about like, yeah, how does that impact me emotionally? And I can get stressed, and it can be easy to then have that fear and emotions impact the people around me if I'm not aware of that. And if I'm not careful with that. And so with fear, we can get into kind of withdrawal, of avoiding and kind of running away, not wanting to really deal with the situation or what we're facing with. And as well, we can feel attack or act and in an attacking way. So fear can make us act in a way that maybe we don't really want to or mean to, and yell or accuse or judge people around us. And I think it's important that we can learn to understand more ourselves. And that's why taking this journaling time is valuable, to acknowledge and to understand and to take that time to know more ourselves and how we react, and to prevent that. And it's as well important that we don't take things personally, because everyone is going through something. We don't know what each person, like even here, we don't know what we're each going through, and we shouldn't take things personally. As Ari gave some examples previously, we never know what everyone's going through, so it's important we treat each other with empathy and love and understanding. And that's different qualities and ways we can practice being a leader of a heart, leadership of the heart, by not taking things personally and not like responding in that way, and being humble and not and being less reactive with those different emotions. And we experience this fear, but we can as well have this mindset shift into trust. So the opposite of fear is trust or faith, and fear is the belief of something bad, that something bad will happen in the foreseeable future, while faith and trust is the belief that something good will happen, something positive, a positive outcome. And so now, kind of with that thinking, we can take this next moment to just think about what life would look like if you shifted that mindset to being more trusting and more faith. So we'll just take one minute to just think about this, and then we'll have some pair sharing later on towards the end. Okay, so that was just a brief moment. We'll have some more time later to share, but just kind of this shift of mindset, thinking about what we can experience if we focus on faith and trust, and with that mindset. And so when I think about that, I can see how it's can really result into a positive outcome. It can feel more free, be more myself when I can focus on that. So you can reveal more your true self when we don't get too caught with the fears and the emotions, and have that as well hold us back. So we can be authentic, our true selves. And so this is about making a conscious decision, changing our lens and focus from fear to faith, and that shift into that positive mindset. And we can have this give and take. The more we have give and take and exchanging with this positive energy, then that's what we will become. That's what we'll see more of. And that can really strengthen that faith within ourselves and spread that goodness wherever we go. And as well with kind of thinking about emotional maturity and being emotionally healthy, we have to learn about boundaries, setting boundaries within ourselves that can, and healthy boundaries, and learning what works, what those boundaries are for ourselves, when we need to say no, and when we need to really take time to care for ourselves, and finding that balance within. And yeah, this again, finding that healthy boundaries, and that balance within. And so just to kind of summarize briefly what we were just talking about, like with our fears and emotions, it can be easy to get like blocked and trapped and get caught up with that kind of thinking. And so it's important we can make that choice and that decision to turn that into faith, trust, and something positive. And we can then have the power to create a better environment and create a peaceful environment around us. And there's a saying that says, peace starts with me. And so it really, like all of what we're sharing here, it's like how we have to really become more aware and build peace within ourselves. And it starts with acknowledging who we are and acknowledging our emotions, becoming aware of ourselves, and then making that conscious decision to work on those different aspects and to practice being leaders of the heart. And so for our final action, we're going to take a moment to create a declaration and just kind of filling in this blank here. So from today, I accept the possibility for me to be more, and then that declaration there, that kind of attitude you want to change. So we'll take that moment to think about that, and then we'll go into breakouts and we can share about our declaration, and then as well anything else that kind of came up through this experience today. You can share that within the breakout, and then we'll gather back and have a few people share, and then we'll conclude. So we'll play music for like a minute, and then we'll go into breakout. Okay, so now we will go out to our breakout rooms, and then we'll gather back shortly.
So you'll have about 10 minutes in the breakout room. So make sure that there's 2 people in each room. Make sure that both people get to share. And you can share about anything that we talked about today, including what's your declaration. Okay, here we go. Marliana, can you join a room or?
But we have 3 of us.
Yes, hold on. It's because you all have Monica Kellett. You both have the Monica Kellett name on it. So I will move one of you to another room. Okay. All right. Give me a second. I'm not sure
Okay.
which one will move.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. So we can have like 1 or 2 people share. You can share your declaration or something that maybe came up during your discussion or some points that stood out to you today.
Okay, perhaps I'd like to share, Myrna.
Sure.
One of my really strong shortcomings is public speaking. I'm always getting butterflies. I'm so nervous about doing this. And especially, you know, I'm thinking about our morning devotions, and I feel like it's such a nice experience that so many of our brothers and sisters feel so open to express themselves and to really share what's on their mind. And I was thinking also for the younger brothers and sisters, so valuable, you know, to hear all this, what they have to share in a way to, yeah, to raise them up to. Anyway, I have, yeah, this block in me. I think one thing to overcome is like, I gotta just pray more and also invite the Holy Spirit and kind of feel more. Yeah, I can do this. I can really, I can manage. I have to tell myself I should not be so worried. Yeah, and so I should not be so fearful, but be more courageous. And that was one of my declarations, like be more courageous because and everyone can benefit, you know. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. So yeah, that's all I want to share.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, I can learn to believe in ourselves and be more courageous. Yeah, I can definitely do that too. Need to work on that too. Yeah. Thank you. We can have someone else.
I'd like to say something. This is Dee.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I had a great meeting with the lady that I was with in the room. And I don't want to call her name because I don't know if it's okay for me to say her name or not, but I have been battling with not being enough, that it's just not enough. You can't do it. You're going to mess it up. People are going to be looking at you weird and all that kind of thing. The strength to overcome. And I think that's it for me. I really like talking to this lady because we are like twins, you know. I don't trust. I'm afraid of everything. I'm over 70 and it's been very difficult, you know, for me. I feel not good enough, not adequate. And that if I try to step out and do something, it's going to mess up. I'm going to mess it up. And I know that the Lord made me enough. And I need to trust that. And I need to be okay with that. That even if I did something and made a mistake, everybody makes mistakes. So forgive myself. It's very difficult for me to forgive myself and so forth. So, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, maybe we can all put our hand in our hearts and just say, I am enough. I am enough. We are all enough. Yeah, it's we are enough, and yeah, it can get easy and to get caught in our thoughts and all those negative thoughts, but we are enough. We have the power to, and I think this is something so beautiful that we can all gather together and empower each other and talking about it and sharing about our fears with each other and how we can then uplift that is something very powerful when we need that connection. So yeah, so thank you. So we're just going to conclude reading a quote from the founders of Women's Federation. Okay, so Maybe we can have Aunt Liz, could you read the quote for us? I can't tell.
He has trouble with her sound.
Oh, okay. Then maybe Shirley, could you read it for us? Or let me go back to it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The world of peace is not initially accomplished on the global or even national level. Peace must first be realized in the family, because these form the basis for all human organizations and systems. Core issues of world peace essentially depend on the question of how peace can be attained within the individual and the family, words by Dr. Hak Jahan Moon.
Thank you. And so thank you for joining us for this wonderful gathering together. And I think then Mrs. LaPrey will give us the concluding remarks.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. I think we accomplished a lot in 1 hour here to connect in heart and to reconnect to our goodness and all of the potential that we have. There's so many things to be challenged by, alarmed by, frustrated in our world. So we really need to come from this place. And as the last quote said, you know, starting from the individual in our interactions with each other, that we can be able to make a change. And actually, Women's Federation for World Peace is on a mission to connect the world with strong, self-confident, purposeful, authentic women who are committed to this new kind of leadership to bring lasting peace. So we invite you. I'll share a follow-up email for all those who registered for our event today about other things that we're doing and ways that you can connect with us in the future. We have a Northern California Facebook page, and the 2 previous sections of Leadership of the Heart, the recordings are there on the Facebook page, as well as our next, we have a project called Global Women's Peace Network, and our next project will be coming up on Saturday, September 11th, I believe. Let me just double check that date. And I will send you more information about that as well. Nope, sorry, it's not the 11th, it's the 18th, September, the 3rd Saturday. And I'll send you that information. So thank you again for joining us and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.